everything is going to just come up. How are these characters are positive or negative or searching or not searching, where they are in the world? The world is, I mean, we'll talk about the world as like the nature and the island we cut from everything else, but the loss of these people, where they are and they were trying to find it, is what the reflection they want to give it to us. Of course, this really transcribed, when you look at this, at an uneasy feeling. Sitting down and watching this for 2 hours and 10 or 12, he put you in an uneasy feeling because you cannot grab anything. It could be Gabrielle, it could be Anna. Anna, we don't even know what she disappeared from the beginning. So that is really a very important point because we see her expressing feeling and she just gone. And Anna is going to be gone, and then you're going to have Gabrielle is going into this relationship with Claudia, and how he makes up with it. So it's a very confusing world. We're coming to from an area where film, I remember the film in the 1950s were really cut and dry. You know, it was like, this is what's going on, this is a bad man, this is a born woman, they're getting together, everything is clear. Here, nothing is clear. And this is the vision of Antonioni of the society, of our human search. We are searching for something because he is searching for something. He is an intellectual, he's an existentialist, he's somebody who has a very knowledge of a lot of different things and put this out for you. So of course people are panicking when they watch a film like this. They don't know what to do, they don't know what to grab, they don't know who is a good thing. The only thing we know that the psychology of the woman is so much more developed than the one of the man. And he makes a statement on that. This we know that it is, but he's showing it to you, you know. This is, again, this 1960. It's not like just the beautiful guy who is going and having all the girl. He has this idea of lost. And Claudia, really, who is really the strong character, it's why we're finishing by these images, and I want to go back to the really end, because then, really, I say all the time, but the end is the last image is everything. And the last image, after you're watching very well, this is really like a way of cinephile. The way that she does, it's not a way of going back to him. It's like a pity that this guy is lost, you know. He has more this feeling of this than to go back with him. And what people have been saying about the frame, like we're talking about the cinematic aspect of it, he's seated down, completely crushed. He's crushed on a wall who is blank, there is nothing, and she's standing up in front of a volcano. And when you think about these images, this is what we're talking about cinematic language. The image shows how she's going to come out from this. She comes out from this. She comes out as a strength, as the one who was supposed to be before. The strong one is completely destroyed. So through this character, you have this, you know, statement about society, the statement about humanity, and the statement about man and woman. So here this is really what it is, but most of the time the thematic of it, and we'll discuss it, the thematic of it about society and human alienation is very important because it's what the people are going through. But let's look at where it's set up. Everything is empty. Everything is, of course there is a town where it's busy, but when they are on the island it's very open, it's very empty, there is nothing to grab on, just themselves. This is another way of like to looking at it and really reflecting on us and saying, where are we? Where is Anna? What's going on? And they put you into this kind of a phase of lost. And it is a film where we are, as human, lost. We are trying to find something. You have Julia with her husband, who is trying to do something that doesn't work, it doesn't go anywhere. Anna disappears, we don't even know where or why, or anything about it. She just disappeared, we will not know anything about it. It's a little bit like, you know, I mean, I know you remember that as the bicycle thief was, when one thing happened and everybody around is reacting to it, but not the way that we're expecting. So seeing like Gabriele Ferzetti, you know, how is he react to this and how is he react to like this panic of like not having Anna, we thought that he was going to be grieving a little bit longer than that because it's like in 2 days it's finished. He wants already to marry Claudia. And Claudia, who is talking in this, like is taking in this net, she can't get out. But eventually she gets out as she goes through it. The ocean, the nature, the island, the wilderness, all this, it's a way of like not filling up the society. So you are in a blank canvas where these people are trying to find themselves. So it's like a typical let's say, an Hollywood movie. The opposite of the Hollywood movie where we have a storyline. There is no storyline here. There is just Anna, it disappears. That's it. And these people who are panicking to find a way to have a reason in their life. So they try to grab something. They cannot grab anything because they are in search for themselves. So as they go through the road trip, this is another thing which is very important. It's the modernity of the world. We are in 1960s. The old Italy is gone. It's going, like as you can see, and all this new construction. So Antonioni was really a lot in architecture. And whatever he shows you, he shows a lot of things of like old architecture and new architecture. He shows you going like through Italy to some kind of landscape, a lost landscape, all the time trying to grab something with like more alive, but not finding a way of like making sense out of this. Masculinity is always for Antonioni, and he said too, because when we ask him what is this film about, like most of the artists will say, I'm not talking about my film, I'm not telling you what it is, you make whatever you want from this, but it's obvious, we know that for him, the man, the masculinity and the eros, the sexuality are so tight. I mean, we all know that, but let's see that this is 1960, making this man, or when they saw Claudia in the place and they are looking at her like there is thousands of men, really excessive. Actually, there is a couple of shows on TV that they reproduce this. I don't know which one of the Netflix series they tried to reproduce it. Well, anyway, there was this thousand, instead of putting one or two men, they put a lot of men around her, like really as a sex object, you know, really obviously. So for him, it's all this simplicity of the man related to his sexuality comparing to the femininity. The femininity is very, very complex for him, and he's really at that time fascinated by Monica Vitti. He's in love with her, but not just that. He is from the era of the Bergman era, where we're looking at the psyche of people, and often, as you know, Bergman, a few years after that, he will do Persona, which is really a movie about women. So it's kind of like trying not to make a statement about him, but trying to show how strong is a woman through their complexity and her difficulty. Creativity and art, it's very important too. Remember, he made about 30 films. He could not get anywhere because he had such a strong idea of creativity. So when he just kicked on this young man drawing, it's a little bit about him. He's doing a job as an architect to make a living. He doesn't want to. He wants to be an artist. And he shows, too, the complexity about, like, wanted to be who you are, wanted to be creative, or just doing whatever you have to do for making a living. So he is really a lost case, you know. He does not know what it is. The only thing he knows how to do is to grab women, to go after women and find his identity through his sexuality. That's the only way. Soon that he doesn't have it, so it's taking there, it's completely lost and broken. So you have this, like, making it simply, but you have this character who are all the time of, like, searching something. The woman who are coming out, especially Claudia, who come out, even so what she's going through, she's going to come out okay, and he is completely destroyed. Eros, marriage and relationship at that time in 1960 is a big crisis, because it's what people are re-questioning their relationship and their marriage. So the marriage model that we have is a catastrophe, you know. So there is nothing who is holding on anything. Nobody is holding on the relationship, nobody on the long term, or on the success. Everybody is lost, trying to find themselves. And the whole film gave me this because of the timing of the film. Nothing is filling up the space. Everything is empty space. I don't know if anybody knows this great painter of the Surrealist epoch. His name is Giorgio de Chirico. Yes. Anybody know Giorgio de Chirico? Giorgio de Chirico.
That's what I was thinking.
By
Yeah.
the railroad.
Yeah. By the railroad.
Railroad running along.
Yeah.
The building
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
thing on the side.
So this is super important in the set, because we are not putting two people talking about their problem in any set. The set is extremely important. So Giorgio de Chirico does a lot of metaphysical things with, like, part of the building in a very empty space. So these two, Antonioni was too fascinating by Mark Rothko, the great abstract painter, and he liked this emptiness. The emptiness of the screen and on the framing gave you the emotional connection to the movie. If I had to take this away from the film, and I had just the people doing their action in a different setup, He will not do anything to you. He will kill. The film is based on how he established this feeling of loss into a framing and into a world of a great director, because after all these years, he knows where to put the camera. And when you see him, and I want to really be, really try to make you in the mind of a director, when the camera is somewhere, and you have all these people walking around, they are directed. If they go inside and coming in and everything else, it's not a crowd of people. He doesn't say, before that, he repeats a lot of time. When they had the scene, the scene of the train, where they were going on the train back and forth, it took them 2 days to do this, because he wanted the train to go at a certain time and come back at a certain time. And he repeated there like some kind of walkie-talkie for the time. Everything is so specifically detailed. Like when you see the train and they're laying on the floor, Claudia, and they're making love, and you see the train passing by, it's a beautiful shot. They are laying down and the train is passing by. They did this for 1 week. Why? Because the train passed by every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. And they wanted to do several shots. So for a week, every time at 5 o'clock in the morning, they go down and they repeat the scene until it's good. So this scene that you see, it looks like it's 20 minutes, it's a week. So that is really, this film took a long time, near 6 months to make, because there were so many different problems. But the thing, again, this is a man who had a very specific idea of what he wanted to do, not just about content, about the framing, about how the people were acting together, and where do we go. I can tell you, even if you try and you finish this, you're still completely lost. I saw this 20 times. I'm still completely lost. The feeling of lost. See, and I'm not talking about like the brain. We can understand, we can try to make it. But there is such a feeling of loss, of trying to find your way. This is an existential problem too. It's a statement of existence. How we are all looking for something to make something valid, and we don't get there. It could be Claudia, who loves her friend Anna, but she's still going like with him, and she's still looking at him as like maybe being in love, and at the end looking at it as a poor man. Same thing with him, who thinks that he owns the world. He's an architect, he's good looking, he has these beautiful like cars, he has money, he gets all the women that he wants. He's a lost cause. He doesn't know where he is, he doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know what's gonna happen. So most of the people, unless the other character, the couple and everything else, they are filling up the void of some kind. But the main character, my God, they're lost. And what he does to you, this is what we're talking about, message of a film. What people want, they don't want that. Imagine you do this, they get in crisis, they come out of the movie, they say, oh my God, what is this? I want something clear, tell me an end, tell me something who is good, who is a good guy, who is a bad guy. That is what masses want. This is 1960. You think this does the same thing today? Absolutely. People will freak out when they watch this film. They freak out because they cannot grab anything. They don't know what this film is about. Because you can tell me, what is this about? Is it about a statement of society? Is it about people looking for a better world? Is it about like rechanging the world? Is it about a modern society with a modern architecture? Is it about creativity? It's about all these different things. The thing too, you should know too, when they shot the film, they didn't shoot the film in the same place. At one time, they go to a tunnel. They were in the south, but they wanted the tunnel to be in the north of Italy. So they went to the north of Italy just to shoot the passage, because you're gonna see, you see in a lot in this film, they pass through the doors, they pass through tunnels, they pass through something, they go through something. That's why it's called adventure. Adventure is the adventure, it's the adventure as they go through something, as they go through their life, but always, they're not going anywhere. They're not getting anywhere. They're getting into their own self, trying to face themselves and struggle with themselves. So it's a philosophical movie, existential film, and it's a human film, which is difficult to accept, especially if you want to be entertained. You see, I want to laugh. No, you come back out of this, and I tell you, when you see it once, you can see 2 or 3 times, because it starts to really question your own being, of who we are.